Bosnia and Herzegovina is a land of exceptional cultural and historical heritage, where true treasures, natural, historical, cultural, or traditional, often lie hidden. This film will showcase places that will captivate you at first sight and are a must-visit for any traveler. We begin our journey with the traces of bygone eras, vividly reflected in the Stečak, medieval monolithic tombstones found across Bosnia and Herzegovina, with around 60,000 in existence. These stone monuments, scattered on mountains and in valleys, in both accessible and remote locations, defy time, presenting a glimpse into the past lives of the inhabitants of these regions. The Stečak in Bosnia and Herzegovina appeared in the second half of the 12th century, with their carving and decoration peaking in the 14th and 15th centuries. By the 16th century, this art form gradually disappeared. The impressive appearance of these tombstones will amaze you, whether you see them on the slopes of the Bjelašnica and Treskavica mountains or in the Stolac area, right here in the heart of Herzegovina. Among the decorative motifs on the Stečak, characterized by the symbolic nature of medieval art, you will find secular and religious symbols and other ornaments that intertwine and complement each other. Apart from the Stečak necropolis at Radimlje, Stolac is also memorable for the Vidoški fortress, built in several phases over a long period, from antiquity to late 19th century interventions. It is recorded that the medieval town of Vidoški was founded in the 5th and 6th centuries, during the reign of the Byzantine Emperor Constantine, who built the fortress in Stolac to protect his trade caravans traveling from west to east, from the former Byzantium, now Istanbul. The history of this Herzegovinian town is also attested by the Badan Cave, a Paleolithic habitation site, and the fortified Illyrian town of Daurson, which impresses with its cyclopean walls. Also noteworthy is the residential complex of the Stolac feudal family Rizvanbegović, known as Begovina, built in the mid-19th century. Begovina was surrounded by a wall to protect against Hajduk raids and had gun ports for defense. The complex respected the natural terrain and provided the necessary privacy for each family. In short, a visit to Stolac, home to 30 significant monuments and 2 Stečak necropolises, Radimlje and Boljuni, under UNESCO protection, is an essential part of any tourist itinerary in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The Middle Ages in Bosnia and Herzegovina left their mark with numerous stone towers, often adorning hilltops and elevated areas like guardians. Each fortress is unique, such as the old town of Srebrenik, first officially mentioned on February 15, 1333, in a charter by Stjepan II Kotromanić. The old town of Srebrenik is located on the northeastern slopes of Majevica, in the village of Gornji Srebrenik, about 5 kilometers from the town of Srebrenik. The town was built on a high, steep, and almost inaccessible rock above the Tinja River valley. Interestingly, a deep trench was dug below the most accessible part of the town, making it reachable only by a bridge. After exploring the old town of Srebrenik, we take you to another well-preserved medieval fortress in Vranduk. Situated at the top of a steep and inaccessible gorge, the Vranduk fortress guarded the entrance to central Bosnia. The settlement is characterized by a specific relationship between the lower town and the fortress, giving Vranduk its unique value. We invite you to visit the Krajina region and the fortress and castle of Stari Grad Ostrožac in Cazin. This fortress has been continuously inhabited, frequently renovated, and adapted to the tastes and needs of its rulers over the centuries. More than 7 centuries of tumultuous events have marked Ostrožac, often at the center of significant happenings. The Babonić-Blagajski princes who ruled Ostrožac signed their names as Ostroški princes. While in this area, we must invite you to visit Martinbrod and witness the beauty of Milančev Buk waterfall, one of the many cascades that stretch through the village to the confluence of the Unac River with the Una. continue exploring the Una River by visiting the Štrbački Buk waterfall and the Una National Park. Bosnia and Herzegovina boasts natural treasures whose beauty captivates at first sight and leaves you breathless. Wherever you go, you won't go wrong, as there are places worthy of attention from north to south. Herzegovina is adorned by the Buna River, and the town of Blagaj will enchant you with its fascinating natural surroundings, as well as the old town of Blagaj and the fortress perched atop the karst hill above the source of the Buna River. You will be mesmerized by the beauty of the Buna canals, the Kravice waterfalls, Hutovo Blato, and the sturdy and defiant old town of Počitelj. This historic settlement of Oriental Mediterranean character, situated in the Neretva River Valley, is one of the most beautiful cultural historical ensembles in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Overlooking Počitelj is a medieval fortress built to protect the entrance to the lower Neretva Valley on the route from Drijevo to Bišće. Počitelj was first mentioned in a charter for Duke Stjepan Vukčić in 1444. After Počitelj, take time to visit the Žitomislići Monastery. Built in 1566, this monastery is one of the most significant Orthodox monasteries in Herzegovina, dedicated to the Annunciation of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and is a national monument of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And that's not all in this area. Plan a special time for a visit to Mostar, as the old bridge awaits to be discovered in its magnificent beauty, along with the old town area. In the Herzegovina Museum, you will learn all about the history of this region. This story would be incomplete without introducing you to Livno. The history of this place is traced back over 2,000 years, from the Illyrians and their fortresses, through the Romans, the Middle Ages, the Ottoman Empire, the Austro-Hungarian rule, and up to the present day. The vast Livno field holds tales of springs from the early Middle Ages, and besides the valuable historical traces, you will be welcomed by the Livno horses, enjoying their freedom on the mountain slopes. The mountain peaks of Bosnia and Herzegovina tell a special story, and within their hidden villages, you'll find numerous fascinating tales. The village of Lukomir is one such place. Here, life moves at its own pace, and the villagers welcome every visitor with genuine warmth and hospitality. Interestingly, the area of the Bjelašnica Plateau has been inhabited since prehistoric times. Neighboring Umoljani, nestled between mountain peaks, is particularly charming. It is distinguished by its beautiful mountain mosque, adorned with a distinctive tin minaret that is uniquely adapted to the local weather conditions. The minaret is not tall, barely rising above the mosque's roof. It is made of stone, with 4 small windows at the top, facing all 4 cardinal directions. If you visit Umoljani, be sure to take time to explore the mountains of Visočica and Treskavica, and nearby is Mount Igman. Don't miss visiting the Prenj mountain and witnessing the beauty of the Rakitnica River. From the mountain peaks, we journey to the area of Prozor Rama to showcase the beauty of Rama Lake and the treasures preserved by the Franciscan monastery Rama Ščit. The Ščit Peninsula, surrounded by Rama Lake, is considered one of the most beautiful places in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The name Rama was first mentioned in the 12th century. The Franciscans, active in Bosnia since the late 13th century, established the monastery in Rama in the 15th century. Besides the monastery, there is also a museum located in the old monastery building, constructed in 1857, unique in Bosnia and Herzegovina from the period of Ottoman rule. We also invite you to visit Fojnica to discover the treasures held by the Franciscan monastery in this Bosnian town. Available records indicate that the Franciscan monastery in Fojnica dates back to 1435, when Father Ivan, nicknamed Probos, successfully petitioned to be appointed guardian of Fojnica. It is also suggested that the Fojnica monastery may have been founded earlier, likely in the late 14th century, but certainly after 1378. It is significant to note that the Fojnica monastery was destroyed in 1521. To stop and prevent the population from fleeing and to ensure freedom for the Franciscans, the then head of the Franciscan monastery, Father Angelos Vizdovic, met with Mehmed II al-Fatih in May 1463 in Milodraž Field and secured a significant document, the Ahdnama, a solemn charter. The Museum of the Franciscan Monastery preserves invaluable cultural and historical treasures that testify to the centuries-long existence of the state of Bosnia and Herzegovina and its peoples, and it is listed as a cultural historical treasure of Bosnia and Herzegovina. When in Fojnica, you must visit Prokoško Lake, located on the Mount Vranica at an altitude of 1,636 meters. This glacial lake is 22 kilometers from Fojnica. Additionally, the Atik Mosque, one of the oldest in Bosnia and Herzegovina, is certainly worth a visit. Written sources mention that the first mosque in Fojnica was built by a local resident, Mustafa Khadr, son of Khizar, in 1551. A wooden minaret was added to the mosque in 1570, making it the first mosque in Fojnica. From Fojnica, we move to Posavina, where we recommend visiting the Museum of the Franciscan Monastery Tolisa, the Gate of Bosnia. Here, you will discover an intriguing story about the lives of people in the Posavina region from the Neolithic period through the Roman era and the Middle Ages to modern times. The Museum of the Gate of Bosnia preserves significant cultural and artistic treasures of Posavina. Next, we take you to the town of Jajce. The beautiful waterfall is the first sight you will see upon arriving in this town, and we invite you to visit Pliva Lake and the mills located there. These mills, built of oak wood, are an excellent example of traditional construction methods and local carpentry skills. According to records from 1562, Jajce had 24 mills at that time, 6 of which were not operational. By the 17th century, this number had increased to 26. Although they were not in use for a long time, the mills today are part of the unique panorama of Pliva Lakes. In Jajce, you must learn about the founding of this town, why it is a royal town, and what secrets the catacombs, the fortress, the coronation church, the temple of Mithras, and especially the old town core with the beautiful Esma Sultania Mosque or the Charshia Mosque hold. This is the only mosque in Bosnia and Herzegovina named after a woman, located on the main street connecting Travnik and Banja Luka gates. The Esma Sultania Mosque is designated as a national monument of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Jajce also hosted the second session of the Anti-Fascist Council for the National Liberation of Yugoslavia, AVNOJ, details of which can be discovered in the museum dedicated to these events and World War II in general. And Sarajevo. Oh, Sarajevo is a special story, and discovering this city located below Trebević Mountain will take hours, days, and even weeks. And even when you think you've seen it all, you will only be at the beginning. From the old part of the city, with religious sites defying time for centuries, old buildings each telling its unique story, to Despić House, Svirzos House, museums, parks, and natural beauties, the area of the capital city of Bosnia and Herzegovina will fill you with a sense of wonder and inspire you to continue exploring its cultural, historical, and natural treasures. The National Museum of Bosnia and Herzegovina will captivate you with its exhibits, offering an unparalleled narrative of the region's history. At the Jewish Museum, you will learn about the Holocaust and events of World War II, while the Art Gallery of Bosnia and Herzegovina immerses you in the world of great artists through their works. In the Museum of Literature and Performing Arts, you will uncover the secrets of written word and theatrical art in this region. Then, at the Bosniak Institute, Brusa Bezistan and Gazi Husrev Bey's library, you will discover true cultural and historical treasures. Remember, Sarajevo is an Olympic city, and the perfect place to learn about the 14th Winter Olympics is the Olympic Museum of Bosnia and Herzegovina. The museum is housed in the beautiful Mandić Villa, built in 1903 for lawyer Nikola Mandić, designed by Czech architect Karel Pašik. Also intriguing is the Pharmacy Museum and exploring the old Sarajevo fountains and bridges. Pause in front of the Academy of Fine Arts to appreciate the beauty of this building, constructed in 1899 as the Evangelical Church in Sarajevo in Romanesque Byzantine style. It was the first church of its kind in Bosnia and Herzegovina during Austro-Hungarian rule. Speaking of the Austro-Hungarian period, it is essential to visit the Sarajevo 1878-1918 Museum, which holds a permanent exhibit on the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie. This event changed the course of history, as World War I began soon after the assassination. The History Museum of Bosnia and Herzegovina tells the story of the national liberation struggle during World War II and events from the siege of Sarajevo and the 1992 to 1995 war. Sarajevo City Hall is a must-visit for many tourists to the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is one of the most representative buildings from the Austro-Hungarian period, built in a pseudo-Moorish style. Its construction took place from 1892 to 1894, and it was officially opened in 1896. Sarajevo's vistas are widely recognized for their exceptional religious buildings adorning the capital city. The Sacred Heart Cathedral in central Sarajevo, the Gazi Husrev Bey Mosque in Bashcharshia, Ali Pasha Mosque in Skenderia, St. Anthony's Monastery, the Ashkenazi Synagogue, and the Church of the Holy Mother of God are just a few. We invite you to discover the White Mosque in Vratnik. The White Mosque was built between 1536 and 1544 by Haji Haidar Effendi, modeled after the Gazi Husrev Bey Mosque. After visiting these beautiful sites in Sarajevo, it's time to indulge in the rich culinary offerings and drink water from Bashcharshia to ensure you will return to Sarajevo. Don't miss the chance to visit Elija and the Vrelo Bosne Nature Park. Use the cable car to quickly and easily visit Trebević, where you can enjoy nature and views of the city. Not far from Sarajevo, you will find the Skakavac waterfall and the Bijambare protected area, where you will be greeted by a cave of stunning beauty. Another notable cave in the Bosnia and Herzegovina is Vjetrenica, listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is worth mentioning the town of Ljubuški, where you can visit the oldest museum in Bosnia and Herzegovina, founded in 1884. The museum exhibits items collected from the wider Herzegovina area, some dating back to the Stone Age. Small towns sometimes hide real treasures, as is the case with Kreševo, where you will be pleasantly surprised by the story of the Franciscan monastery of St. Catherine. The pyramids in Visoko have become a mandatory tourist destination in recent years. We recommend visiting the museum in this town to learn the fascinating story of how Visoko was a temporary residence for Bosnian rulers and the main center for Dubrovnik merchants during the Kingdom of Bosnia. The area, including the archaeological site Mile, has significant historical importance for Bosnia and Herzegovina. Next, let your journey take you to Konjic, a town situated on the banks of the Neretva River and at the confluence of the Trešanica River. The old stone bridge is the symbol of Konjic and one of the most beautiful examples of Ottoman architecture in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Built in 1682, this bridge is one of the few positive events in the Bosnian Eyalet during the late 17th century, a period marked by long and difficult wars that shook the Ottoman state. Today, this bridge with its 6 arches of varying sizes connects the old town of Konjic with the new part on the right bank and is the emblem of this town on the Neretva River. If you're interested in stories from the socialist era, Tito's bunker in Konjic is the right place for you. Built between 1953 and 1979 inside the Zlatar Mountain, it was once the most closely guarded Yugoslav secret. The extent of this secrecy is best illustrated by the fact that the public learned about the existence of this facility only in 2000. From Konjic, you can head towards Jablanica, and along the way, you'll be captivated by the beauty of Jablanica Lake. Jablanica is unique not only for its natural beauty, but also for its historical significance, as the site of the Battle for the Wounded during World War II. We highly recommend visiting the Battle for the Wounded Museum, where the exhibits are particularly rich and informative. Be sure to take a walk to the banks of the Neretva River and see the destroyed bridge, a poignant reminder of the battle. From Jablanica, we guide you to Tešanj, where you will be enchanted by the old town, built in the heart of Tešanj on a steep rocky hill along the Tešanjka River. The Tešanj fortress, known as Gradina, is a medieval stronghold constructed similarly to other fortresses in the region during the Middle Ages. Tešanj Fortress is a national monument of Bosnia and Herzegovina, as is the old town of Maglaj. The Maglaj fortress is one of the most beautiful and best preserved in the country. As a medieval fortification, Maglaj was first mentioned on September 18, 1408, in a charter by the Hungarian king Sigismund, Sub Castro Nostro Maglaj, or under our fortress Maglaj. Although it was established in the 14th century to defend the Bosnian kingdom, It acquired its final form during the Ottoman period. After visiting Maglaj, it's time to discover Gradačac, graced by the White Tower of Husein Kapetan Gradaščević. Records indicate that between 1718 and 1739, the Gradačac fortress was solidly built and surrounded by a moat secured by 3 bastions with 15 heavy cannons. The fortress housed a captain who commanded the fortified towns of Srebrenik and Sokol. In this part of Bosnia and Herzegovina, you should also visit Tuzla, the city of salt. Be sure to visit the Homeland Museum, which houses over 30,000 valuable exhibits, and relax at the complex of salt Pannonian lakes. Travnik is another destination that promises enjoyment. This town was the seat of the Bosnian Eyalet of the Ottoman Empire for 151 years, with 2 short interruptions. The Homeland Museum, with around 80,000 exhibits, showcases trophy weapons, aristocratic family clothing, the Bosnian room interior, historical documents and photographs, all illustrating life in the former Bosnian capital. In addition to the museum exhibits, visitors to Travnik can also explore the birthplace of Nobel laureate Ivo Andrić, located in the Zenjak neighborhood. During your visit to Travnik, you will also be welcomed by the Old Town Fortress, considered one of the most beautiful and well-preserved fortifications of medieval Bosnia. Different historical periods have left their specific marks here, and there is no known data about the year and duration of its construction or who the builder was. Interestingly, the current appearance of the walls and fortress is the result of the interventions by Turkish military construction masters. The Old Town Fortress today holds the status of a national monument of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Novi Travnik holds a reminder of the victims of fascism with the Smrike monument, an example of the architectural and socialist heritage of the former Yugoslavia. The monument, located on the Čamiće hill between Travnik and Novi Travnik, consists of 12 conceptually identical sculptures arranged in 2 irregular, arc-shaped rows, staircases with terraces, and an earthen platform. On this journey, take time to visit Gorazde, where the museum preserves valuable archaeological, historical, and ethnological exhibits. In Gorazde, you can also enjoy the banks of the Drina River. If you haven't visited Bobovac, then you haven't truly experienced Bosnia and Herzegovina. The royal town of Bobovac is located in the hills between Kakanj and Vareš and was first mentioned in written documents in 1349. It was the most significant fortress of medieval Bosnia. Bobovac was built by Ban Stjepan II Kotromanić in the 14th century and became the seat of Bosnian rulers. While learning about history at Bobovac, you'll find true enjoyment in nature at Boračko Lake, where we now take you. Boračko Lake is a natural mountain and glacial lake at an altitude of 397 meters. To complete the experience, there is also an ethno-village nearby. Be sure to visit Blidinje and its lake, which captivates all who visit this place with its beauty. If lakes are too slow for you, it's time for a real rafting adventure down the Neretva River. Your journey can then lead you to Međugorje, one of the most famous Roman Catholic pilgrimage destinations, known for the sightings of the Virgin Mary that began in 1981, leading to the development of religious tourism. Since then, this Herzegovinian town, along with Sarajevo, has become one of the most visited tourist centers in Bosnia and Herzegovina. In Herzegovina, don't forget to visit Čapljina, especially the Višići site, where a Roman villa was found. During the Roman era, the proximity to Narona and the favorable geographical position made Čapljina area a center of trade and transportation with surrounding regions, as well as an agricultural production hub. This is confirmed by finds from the Kućišta archaeological site, a Roman villa with remains from the Roman period, early and late Middle Ages. Take time to visit Široki Brijeg, home to the Franciscan Museum and Gallery. As you travel from Herzegovina to the northern part of the country, stop in the Kupres area. Take a moment to enjoy the Kupres Plateau. On this journey, don't forget to visit Bihać. We've already talked about the beauty of the Una River, and now we remind you to visit the Captain's Tower in this town. Although it is one of the oldest buildings in Bihać, The exact date of the Captain's Tower's construction is unknown. It is assumed to date back to 1205, when 4 towers were built, although 3 were soon destroyed. While in Bihać, you must also see the Fethia Mosque, the only European Islamic place of worship in Gothic style. This mosque is also one of the best preserved sacral buildings in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Originally built as the Church of St. Anthony of Padua, in the late 12th and early 14th centuries, the church was converted into the main mosque of the city after the arrival of the Ottomans and named Fethia, meaning conquered. The Gothic bell tower of this building served as a minaret until 1863, when it was demolished due to deterioration and replaced with the current minaret, built on the site of the bell tower from the same type of stone, Bihacit. In Krajina, be sure to visit the Bliha waterfall near Sanski Most. The waterfall is about 56 meters high and about 10 meters wide, making it a true gem of the region. Besides its natural beauty, the Bliha waterfall is protected by the state as a natural monument, and this area is home to numerous plant and animal species. If you are not tired after all this traveling, then it's time to finally swim in the Adriatic Sea and experience the beauty of Neum, the only Bosnian coastal town. Come and discover the natural beauties and cultural historical treasures presented from Bosnia and Herzegovina.